Good time zone. And a happy birthday to all of those around the world. It's Retracing Our Steps Day. I'm actually pretty excited. The Yerrig storyline, it's not like the most exciting storyline. It's not the most, I guess, high octane. I don't know. But I actually really do find it an interesting storyline. I really enjoy the story of this country, this backwater country that's coming into its own and now having to contend with global powers that are eyeing it like hungry wolves, and also having to contend with its own culture and the shifts there. So I'm pretty interested to see the continuation of this. Plus we've got Rhinelab on it now. It's a double feature, really. Which reminds me, I looked up every possible character's voice except one. I forgot she was probably in this. Most likely. Definitely in this. Ask Janine. Totally forgot. Guess the last time we saw her, and the only time we saw her, was Dorothy's vision? Let me pull up that video to reference. Okay, simple enough. Nothing crazy. You never know, sometimes I go a little crazy with it. Sometimes I really lock in, too. Of course, we've got a ton of new characters. 2 6 stars. Well, 3 6 stars, technically, although... Ashtonine is... suffers, I think, from the... Once again, why do they make them 6 stars for the welfare operators? Make them 5 stars. Why do they need to be 6 stars? Just make them 5 stars. Same thing with Crown Slayer. Same thing with Ashtonine, I think, is what's happening here. Just make them 5. Just make them 5 stars. But anyway. Ton of new operators. Arts Protector Defender modules. We got an IS module for Gnosis. Topically. I actually don't really know what any of the new characters do. I know Silverash is, of course, a tactician or strategist. Not tactician. Tactician is the other one. But I actually don't really know what Premnex does. Well, let's just get into it and we can take a look. I'll be pulling for both of them. Hopefully luck is on my side in that regard. It's never a good It's always a risky endeavor to pull for 2 6-stars. Although I guess it's also better because at least you are happy to get either or. And when it's just one you want, and then you only ever get the other one. Been there. Been there a couple times. Whabam. Free 10 pull. A free Estelle skin. Look at that. I got tickets as well for this thing. We've got special recruitment, top operator. Again. My gosh, how much more do we have? New limited outfits. An invitation from Silverash. Friend, it's been some time. I trust you have already heard of Yerig's recent state of affairs. The observatory established in cooperation with Rhinelab has been completed for a while now, and Gnosis has practically taken up residence there. Everything is proceeding in an orderly fashion. By the way, Sirius's child will be born soon. Perhaps you still recall their debate over the name. Spring is coming, but as we both know, the cold of early spring is often the hardest to endure. Once this chill has passed, perhaps you can find the time to visit Yerig. It has been a while since our last game, has it not? He just gives us a model of the battleship. Project 1 Definitive Edition, a high-speed battleship model. One side bears the signature of Noses and Ceades. Obviously, no other model like this exists on the land. It is worth remembering, or mentioning, the model comes from a box bearing the Vine Bead Quartz sigil, containing various miniatures you can place on the model. And you can recognize each and every one of them. It just makes you feel a little sorry for exchanging it for LMD. I'm not going to exchange it. Why would I exchange it? I don't need LMD. Got a lot of outfits. These are older stuff that I didn't clear, I guess. My god. New furniture, always good. Do I have all this stuff? Yeah. Couple new outfits. Lapland is pretty good. I don't know if I'd like it more than her base one though. They're pretty similar. I do like the glasses. I might buy it. Times Unsolzen. Civilite is a very interesting one. With a tiny Almia doll, apparently. Vina Victorious takes her out of armor, so that's a no-go for me. No siree. It's armor or it's nothing. I have to think about that Lapland one. Oh, also they have what? Two new operators here. Accord and Adia. Both of them are like gazelles, I guess. What do they do? Accord is a blast caster. Interesting. Not a new caster, just a blast caster. Okay. 4-star. When there's at least one other operator in range for their talent, they gain attack. First skill. Just the next attack deals increased damage and has charges. Skill 2, attack increase. And every attack triggers a sonic boom at the location of other operators in attack range that deals attack as AoE damage. Huh, that's kind of neat. So any melee operator in front of her, I guess, right? And Hadia is a mercenary, which is a new class. Talent. Whenever DP is spent through deployment, skill activation, or equipment alteration. What? When selecting a deployed operator, an active extra effect when certain conditions are fulfilled. Attack increase and stuns all enemies within attack range for 2 seconds. You can attack and stack up to 5 times. Enhanced Desert Tactics, plus 40% defense. Equipment alteration, consume 10% 10 DP to increase attack until skill ends. Can use equipment alteration to activate skill when SP is full. What? Okay, what is this class? So practically the skill takes 10 DP to increase attack until the skill ends. It also lets you use it when this... I don't know. When you can use equipment alteration when active skill is SP full. So it's just a skill that takes 10 DP. I'm not sure what the equipment alteration aspect comes into play here. Obviously, they're exploring something here with the new mechanics. That's fine. That's well and good. I don't quite understand what's happening there. Skill 2, consume 10 DP to fuse sword and staff, gaining increased attack range and attack up to 2 targets simultaneously. When skill is active, can spend 15 DP to activate equipment alteration to extend duration by 15 seconds. Okay, now that's more interesting. Huh. Well, that certainly seems like it could be interesting as a class. And then we have the siblings. Silverash is a strategist. Talent, when on field, adds an Eye of Blizzard to the deployment waiting zone and rearranges undeployed operators according to their DP cost. Self and operators to the left of the eye gain 4+ starting SP and minus 20% redeployment time. I wonder why I rearranged them. When on field, all Yerrig operators gain frozen immunity. That's nice. Plus 60 defense. And recover 1.5 max HP every second. After being deployed for 15 seconds, defense and HP effect is doubled. Skill 1, Pawn Breaker immediately gains 10 DP. The operator nearest to Eye of Blizzard in the deployment zone has minus 5 DP cost. That's why it rearranges it. Prioritizing Guard, Caster, and Sniper operators on the right, and gains a barrier equal to 50% of Silverash's max HP upon deployment. Counter Gambit deals 380% attack, has physical damage to 6 enemies in a front, inflicts cold on them and removes their invisibility. Heck yeah. The operator nearest to the Eye of Blizzard has minus 11 DP, prioritizing Guard, Caster, Sniper operators. All operators to the left of the Eye of Blizzard cast this skill without their own... Wait, what? All operators to the left of the Eye of Blizzard cast this skill with their own attack once when deployed. Whoa. So there's can be stuff to the left of the Eye of Blizzard. And then the people can cast this skill as well. That's kind of crazy. It's a pretty cheap skill as well. Castled King. Attack range expands, removes invisibility. Heck yeah. Attacks deal 200% attack as physical damage and inflicts 30% fragile to the target in a straight line, immediately gaining 9 DP, then gradually gains 24 DP. On first skill activation, swaps the DP cost of the operator at the highest cost, prioritizing Guard, Cast, Sniper, with the lowest. Eye of Blizzard is deployable when skill is active. Eye of Blizzard, added to the deployment zone when Silverash is on the field. DP cost changes according to his skill. Open game. Increases starting SP and decreasement time of left operators. Castled King. When first operator is deployed while Castled King is active, Eye of Blizzard deploys on the operator's location and attacks along with Silverash in a straight line. While the skill is active, Eye of the Blizzard can be redeployed to change its location and refunds its DP cost. So 14, Castle is 19, let's see. Pawnbreaker is 16. Let's see. And he's a trade guy, of course, and also a trainer, apparently, for Vanguards. Yeah, he seems interesting. Now, Praminex I know nothing about. She's a Phalanx caster. It's been a while. Does not attack, but greatly increase defense and resistance when not attacking. Unending Snow. Snow falls every 5.5 seconds onto tiles within attack range, dealing 75% attack as arch damage to any ground enemies passing through affected tiles. Each stack of snow reduces movement speed by 12%, stacking up to 5 times. Snow on the tile disappears when the first enemy on the tile leaves the tile. So it's like Laza's lightning strikes, kind of. Okay. I like these characters with their, like, weather effects now. More broken. Yeah, the speed reduction's nice. Also, I guess it's a guaranteed. Laser's a random chance, though. Although it's a pretty good random chance. Blessing of Carlin. Upon taking damage, inflicts cold on enemies for 1.5 seconds. If taking lethal damage, recovers full HP once, freezes herself. Fascinating. While freezing all enemies. Cold Reflect. That's kind of fun. Air Snow Bell's Chime deals 520% attack as arch damage to all enemies, inflicting cold for 3.5 seconds, pushing them with moderate force in deployment direction. Snow spread on the ground up to 5 tiles forward. Peaks clad in frost. Attack deals 380% attack as arch damage, and snow spreads to surrounding tiles after reaching 5 stacks. Spreads to max of 20 tiles. Ground enemies on snow tiles take 20% arch damage every second and are inflicted with 5 seconds of cold after leaving a snow tile. When snow accumulates on the objective point 5 times, it freezes. What? Unlimited duration. Can manually deactivate. Okay, so her stuff is a lot more about the snow. Leza just kind of has lightning, and it's just kind of there. This one's way more about the snow. What does it mean if objective point freezes? Towards the mountain's bow, or bow. You can freeze the box so enemies cannot get through. That's actually insane. So you can't lose? You just can't lose. At least one of them. I mean, there's usually more than one box nowadays, but... They need to break this. Okay, they can break. Okay. Attack range expands. Immediately lures all enemies within attack range for 10 seconds to the closest reachable ground near her. Increases snowfall speed. Attack 100%. ASPD 30. Attacks ignore resistance, and every attack deals 260 arch damage. She has one skill. One base skill. Logistics. When this operator is assigned to the HR office, HR contracting speed plus 35%, morale consumed per hour minus 2.5. If Silverash is assigned to the control center, HR contracting speed increased by a further 10%. Pretty cool. And then there's also Snow Hunter. What does Snow Hunter do? Snow Hunter is, you guessed it, a hunter. Talent. On skill activation, send out Rift Cloud Beast to attack, dealing attack 150 attack or 185 at max. As physical damage and inflicting cold. She has a pet Cloud Beast. Skill 1 is just a standard attack skill, beta. Skill 2, Twin Blizzard Bolts, immediately fires a special bullet, dealing attack damage as physical for 2 shots. Attack increases when hitting non-mobile enemies and store 2 charges. Fair enough. Can see Wishadell's here. You know, I wouldn't mind if Wishadell just like interrupted my polls. Perhaps.
Hello! I've never been in such a big mobile. Nice to meet you, Doctor. I'm Lena.
My name is Plume, formerly of the Pontifica
Are you Doctor? My name's Gummy. You must be the Doctor.
Captain of Reserve Op Team A6, Orchid.
The name's Rope. Nice to meet you. Hello, Doctor. I'm Logistics Operator Arom. Would you open your translate?
Reserve Op Team A6 Catapult reporting in. Hey,
It has been quite a while.
Wait, that was a 6-pull?
Land teems with misfortune, but neither Yerag nor Rhodes Island have fallen to the floor just yet. Are you ready? I believe we could re-establish our old rapport rather quickly. I, Silverash, have joined your cause as a sworn ally.
Am I crazy? Like, I thought that was only a 5-pull. The light was only a gold, right? Am I won't complain, but I... Okay. Are you ready? The luck continues. I keep getting the 6-star on the first 10. The first 3-10.
Are you Doctor?
I'm baffled. Shooketh even. I really thought that was just a 5-star. I was only clicking through it because I was like, if it's, you know, if it's Snow Hunter, I want to hear the voice line, but... I'll go for Pramanex as well. I've got tickets. I bought all the tickets I could. I will have to, you know, decide when to stop at some point.
Hello, Doctor.
For now, I'm all in.
I'm Vanilla, trainee operator from
Cutter.
Now, this is definitely just a 5-star one.
I have a...
I'm Lava, a caster. Here to join you simply because I'm bored.
I'm Scavenger. Leave the dirty work to me.
My name's Gummy. You must be the doctor.
I came because the Saintess says you can treat my disease. Do you need a hunter? I can take out a beast 3 times the height of a grown man with a single shot.
Cool. Is that a snow beast over there? That's cute. Snow beast, cloud beast. Snow cloud beast.
Ally, I salute you.
Now that was a 6-star animation. I think the animation just broke. That first time.
Pleased to meet you, Doctor. This is for you. It's a specimen box. Codename Erin. Officially joining today.
Hello, I'm Meteor, the archer from...
I'm Lava, a caster. Here to join you simply because...
Hello, I'm Meteor, the archer from the woods.
Codename Erin. Officially joining today.
Amidst the
Hell yeah.
undying winds of the snow realm and the unending fall of snow, Pramanix of Yerag now stands before you. How's that for a preamble? Now let me in already. We'll have plenty of time for greetings later.
She always sounds so mature. I guess she is Alter. Yeah, all of you will be excited to know that I actually did prepare for upgrading the characters this time. And even more crazy, I also E2'd Gnosis just for this event. And will now buy his IS module, which I heard is really good. Not that that will help us here, but I did do it because, of course, we like to make teams thematic teams for the events. I didn't upgrade anyone else though. I couldn't be bothered with like Matterhorn or Courier. That will probably show up. Why does it say they have new voice lines? I don't know. That was weird. I guess she got her new. I guess Civilite got operator record and everything. That will be an interesting one to do. Did I pick up Snegorochka? I didn't realize.
I thank all of Rhodes Island, Doctor, for taking me in. And I also thank you for giving me a laboratory where I will not be disturbed.
It's really funny. Is it just her dying again? Because that would be really funny.
I have always found Rhodes Island's methods quite refreshing.
I'm sure you have. Never thought I'd ever be having to upgrade a second Silverash, but here we
You
are.
accepted my proposal. Did you not suspect Rhodes Island was becoming part of my schemes? Then again, you rather enjoy this sort of challenge. I have always found Rhodes Island's methods quite refreshing.
I thought I built those in a factory already. I guess I didn't. I thought I built it already. And I won short, but I have enough. And I don't have enough. Look at me with the egg on my face. Fine, we'll do it. I'll have it for tomorrow. I swore I got all of it already. I literally was doing it yesterday. It's fine. It's fine. I know I definitely have enough caster stuff.
When in snow, Seek the footprints of those heading forward. This is the simple wisdom of Yeragander.
That is pretty simple.
No. No more gifts or ornaments, please. A saintess's garb is heavy enough as it is. You want me to feel light and breezy, don't you?
Kind of a weird thing to say, gonna be honest.
When in snow, seek the footprints of those heading forward. This is the simple wisdom of Yeragander.
Okay, I was about to go insane, because I'm pretty sure I built these in the factory too. What did I build? Because I swore I built something in the factory yesterday. What? Did I build the wrong chips? Maybe I did.
Of what has been gained, renounce it all. Of what has been lost, forget it all. We need only strive for truth and question ourselves, and in the end, we shall return to her embrace.
Already has a module. Fair enough. I have to check. Did I build... If I have... No, I don't. I was like, if I had like 4 chips, dual chips or something. But no, I don't. So I don't know. If I didn't. Speaking of modules, Oshiguma and Vina got modules. On skill activation, normal attacks deal arch damage when attacking and being attacked deal extra 10% as arch damage to the target. Gain up to 50 resistance and 35% attack tenacity. Grants additional 15 attack when reaching max tenacity. So normally, normal attacks deal arch damage while skill is active, which changes to when attacked or being attacked, deals an extra 10% of arch damage on reflect. That's cool. And I assume the tenacity bonus is also more. It's not more, but it does gain additional 15% when reaching maximum. Okay. Vina. I don't even know what your first one does. Enemies blocked by her and her summons have fragile, though. When visiting an enemy for the first time, inflicts frighten for 6 seconds. Leaders are frightened for 12. They deal 15% more damage to frightened targets. So increases the frighten time and also makes leaders more frightened, which is interesting. And does more damage. That's not bad. Yeah, there are new operators in the cert. I don't understand the mercenary mechanics that much, but could be interesting in the future. Let's get into it. I'm gonna skip the cutscene. Since they show it at loading now and everything, there's no reason. Retracing Our Steps, the first event that clearly states within the title what year it is, 1101. Thank you. So what happened last time on the Yerrick story? 1 year ago, as it is. In 1100, 3 years after Silverash performed a coup to take over Yerrig, the Duke of Castor sent Viscount Harold with a small army to the country. At this time, Yerrig has been experiencing steady industrialization and has drawn the attention of the rest of the world. Now, Harold swears the army intends no ill will, but of course, sending an army into another country can only really be interpreted one way. If you're not outright invading, then at the very least, it shows that Castor does not respect Yerrig's sovereignty. So, Castor also sends a Trilby Asher, good old Trilby Ashers, to spy on Silverash, to make sure he's not up to anything that she doesn't like. And after a series of comedic events, the Trilby Asher learns that Silverash has a secret production site underneath Lake Silverash, which he believes must be a weapons factory. The Duke of Castor does not want Yerrig to be able to stand on its own as a country, so with a weapons factory discovered, Harold is forced to mobilize his army to force Silverash into subservience. Now, there are ties between Silverash family and the Castor family. I guess they are related to each other, which is why Castor has this, partly why Castor has this interest in making sure that Yerrig is under her thumb. Silverash, of course, planned and has been planning for this eventuality. He only needs to stall for time. And so to this end, Degenbrecher fights the 2,000 soldiers that Harold mobilized by herself. Insane. But she actually manages to hold them off. For the arrival of several important guests, members of the Kazimierz TGCC and Adeptus Bradavili, Mulesies of Rhinelab, and the Doctor of Rhodes Island. With so many high-profile international witnesses, Harold is forced to withdraw from further military action. He doesn't want to cause any trouble for Victoria by everyone realizing that Victoria is like invading Yerrig or something, so And Silverash then announces a trade deal between Yerig and Kajimersh and a partnership with Rhine Lab to build a space center atop Mount Carlon. So Yerig has not only asserted its sovereignty, but has completely rebuffed the Duke of Castor by siding with other countries. As for the weapons factory, well, the Trollbriasher was correct. Yerig has a secret site underneath the lake, but it's not just a weapons factory, it's a battleship factory. And speaking of Mount Carlon, which is the other side of the story, the spiritual half of the story, with this country contrasting the industrialization and the traditional faith. You know, Mount Carlon is the holy mountain of the entire religion. So, you know, building a space center on top of it's kind of a huge departure from tradition and acceptability. But Yera thinks it's cool. So, I mean, considering it's her mountain, that's alright, I guess. Yera is also has been planning at this point to step back from watching over the country. She believes it's time for Yerig to take care of itself, so you know she's very much okay with Silverash and Preminix both taking more direct control over the country's future. And ultimately they both want the same thing: the independence and well-being of their people, but Preminix and Silverash are constantly butting heads over what that really should look like and the methods that should be used to achieve it. And that's everything that happened last time. On the rides to Lake Zilbinnerherza, landslide. And she said, henceforth, you shall walk the path forward alone. I believe you're wrong, sir. Victoria may be the strongest nation on Terra for now, but there's no guarantee that such prosperity will last forever. We are all familiar enough with the history of Victoria's 4 golden decades, nourished by the legacy of Gaul. Times have changed, however, when Victoria's productivity advantages eroded and her ambition to expand went unsated. The cracks of eternal strife began to emerge beneath the surface. The last king attempted to mediate between the factories and the merchants, but failed to propose a new path out of the dilemma. His end was inevitable. The same was demonstrated by the coup in Lytania not long after, whom emerged as the victor of the bloody struggle. No, it has been more than a decade since they hanged the Lord of Lions, but the repercussions of the coup linger to this day. The Wheat of Brighton, the River Mersey incident. Have the Dukes been able to set aside their conflicts for even a moment this past decade? Everyone believes they will emerge the better for the struggle, but not one believes, they're digging Victoria's grave together. If we do not see change soon, an intensifying civil war will be what defines Victoria in this new era. I heard that a most eloquent young man stole the show today. One would be forgiven for mistaking you for today's headliner. I meant no offense, Your Grace, Duke of Castor. I had hoped to make the acquaintance of more people of wisdom at your manor, but I confess I find myself disappointed. Do you consider yourself worthy of a position as a duke's advisor, or even the Speaker of Parliament, then? Anyone can point out the ills that plague this nation. Curing it, however, calls for the proper means, a stroke of luck, even. It seems that I am hardly the one who should be worrying about these things, though. What do you think? I remember your mother. You have inherited none of her humility or courtesy, but all of her boldness and irreverence. Insidies. Oh, snap. Did not expect that. You would hardly have found time for a distant relative from a distant land if I had not caught your attention this way. It was a rather inflammatory speech, but far from being enough to lay a foundation. Many young lads have visited this house, intending to make their names amongst the guests, so as to enjoy the adoration of others in high society. How do I know you are not one of them? I have little interest in becoming a guest of honor at the banquets of Victorian nobility. I simply bring a modest proposal. The resources of Yerrig and the industry of Castor complement each other perfectly. There is potential for equal cooperation. I am building Yerrig's first transnational trading company, and I would like to extend an invitation. Equal. In 30 years, the name Yerrig will lie on the lips of all the nations of Terra. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain from cooperation between our two lands. I commend your courage, but I doubt you have the means to make such a promise, child. You will assent. As a consummate and visionary politician, you are well aware of the dilemma that Victoria faces, or should I say the Duchy of Castor faces. You would not lightly dismiss any measure that could improve the situation, however slim the chance. The fact that I stand before you now is proof enough that I am worth investing in. Be thankful you are young enough that I can forgive your impudence. Answer me then, young visionary, with your wit and guile. How does a country that has yet to adopt the Oranginium Circuit plan on becoming the name on the lips of all nations of Terra? Your doubts are well-founded. Industry and technology are certainly important, but for a nation, there are other things that are even more important. To be frank, the particular nature of Victorian politics may have clouded your eyes to the potential of a united nation. I believe. And she stood upon the highest peak, pointed to the lake in the distance, and spoke. Remember the path you walked, and let not yourself forget. Fear the blizzard that has yet to come, and let not yourself be arrogant. Clutch your bows and arrows, pickaxes and hoes tight, and let yourself not be careless. Love your brothers and sisters, love your neighbors and friends, and love the rocks and hills, the grass and trees, as you would love your own siblings. Heed these words, and no calamity shall befall you, and your home and hearth will be safe forevermore. So that was obviously that was pre even the first event, which I forget what it was called. break the ice, I think, right? Maybe. So yeah, at that point, I guess Victoria was still strong. Although I'm sure if you asked the Dukes even now, they'd probably still say, like, yeah, we're definitely still strong.
Titus, it's almost time.
Have the doctors not found a way?
For years, the finest doctors of Yarreg and Victoria tried everything they could think of to purge the poison from the Great Elder. In the end, it is not illness that takes them, but time.
I see. May I see him?
Of course. Please deliver him Yarragander's name.
Inya gently pushes open the door. The dying man's chest barely moves as he lies on the bed. He seems to hear the sound and cocks his ear with great effort before opening his mouth meekly.
Inya, is that you?
Great Elder, how are you feeling? Would you like some water?
No. Listen to me, Inya.
What is your wish?
This day has been too long in coming. Do you think that this day has been too long in coming?
Of course not. You taught me many things.
You have done well, but I was a poor teacher. A poor elder. I was not even a pious child of Yarragander.
Great Elder.
I haven't heard Yarragander's voice for many years. I prayed day and night, recited the scriptures over and over, but she never answered my call. I was lost. I was afraid. But I had to keep going. I thought if Yarragander's will was to protect her people, it was not against her will to act in such a way. I wanted to strengthen the Vine Beat Court's authority. I wanted the hearts of Yarreg to be united and firm. But I erred in many ways.
One can lie to man, but no one can deceive Yarragander. She sees all that we do. She knows all our errors and our repentance.
I know, I believed, but a long time passed, and I thought that I had not been punished by Yarragander. And so I stopped believing. Until last night, Yarragander came to me in a dream. She did not reproach me. She simply walked in front of me, leading me to the lake, whose surface was like a mirror. And she said, "All rivers shall converge upon this place." And then I knew my time was up. I want to repent. I must repent. But it's too late for me. Inya, tell me honestly, do you still hear Yarragander's voice?
Her followers must listen carefully to hear her teachings at all times. The noise of the land may deafen our ears to her voice, and the wind and snow blind our eyes to her teachings. But remember always that she is good, and those who forsake her walk on the wrong path. It is harder to be good than evil, to forgive than to hate, to be humble than to be proud. Those who tread this path must know it is a treacherous one, but those who stray from it shall find it even harder to return. Stop making all that noise, Yucatan. Since when are you as reckless as Sirius?
I'm sorry, Matriarch, but I just can't help myself at a time like this. There's nothing I can do for her but pray.
Always so uneasy. You and Sirius. She is my younger sister, and the future Browntail matriarch. A little thing like this should be no trouble at all. That idiot's health is that idiot's in excellent health. You remember how she sneaked out to climb Mount Jungfrau when she was 8 and ended up breaking her leg when she fell? They thought she'd never walk again. In 2 months, she was running and jumping around like nothing ever happened. When is she playable? Just give up already. No one gave it a second thought. Are we really sure there was no lingering effects? No, of course there wouldn't be. It was so long ago, and the doctors say she's as healthy as a burdenbeast. But can those Victorian doctors really be trusted? I'll have their heads if anything happened to my stupid sister. Gopferdami. It's been 4 hours. Why haven't they come out yet? Gopferdami. What language is that? I guess they're weird, like German, Tibetan. It looks like it is their German.
Matriarch, report from Captain Munch.
Shut up! Don't bother me, whatever it is.
Understood.
Let's take a deep breath, Matriarch. Yaragander will protect us. She's the gentlest woman I've ever met. Who would Yaragander watch over if not her? You're right. Yaragander. Oh, Yaragander, hear my prayer. I am hardly the most pious of Yaragander's people, but now I muster all my piety in the hopes that Yaragander will grant this one favor. If Clan Browntail must be punished for our past transgressions, then let all that punishment fall upon me. I will accept your anger, your wrath. Please spare my foolish sister. My Yaragander. Dear travelers, please note that train KT-392 departing from Lake Silverash bound for Brig Pass will be delayed by 1 hour due to inclement weather. Yara Grail sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience. Please speak to a staff member at the information desk if you require assistance.
Are Victorian trains ever not late? Looks like they've rubbed off on Yara Grail.
It's just a little wait. Frankly, I'd rather stay here for a while longer than deal with those investors back home. At least they have good system milk here, for free. Burp. But inclement weather, they say. It doesn't look like it's snowing. Oh, who's this? Agitated woman. What's the hurry? The trains aren't running. Sorry, excuse me. Wait a minute. I've seen this trick before. You're a pickpocket, aren't you? Stop right there. Let me make sure you didn't steal anything. The woman breaks free of the hand grabbing her shoulder and runs in the direction of the crowd, vanishing into a sea of people. Ha! Hey, somebody help, thief! Did you lose something, ma'am? My purse, jewelry, terminal, everything seems to be here. But that one... Probably some unfortunate sod trying to get on without a ticket. Told you this is a pious Yerrig, not post-war Londinium. No one's after your purse. By Yerrigander. Does trying to ride without a ticket get you hunted down by warriors in Yerrig? Found you. Madam Carlian of Rhinelab. I know who you are and what you've done. Come quietly unless you want everyone under the sun to know. Divine Bead Court will grant you a fair and impartial trial. First, give me what you're holding. The woman silently clutches the folder in her arms and thinks for a moment before crying out without warning. Run. Run. There's a bomb in the station! Alright, just... The crowded station quickly descends into chaos at the woman's cry. The creator of the chaos once again disappears into the crowd. Damn. What's Rhinelab up to? Come on, Rhinelab. Isn't this section overseen by Mulesies? What's going on? Russ, so glad you're alright. How are they? The children? Perfectly fine. Your sister's taking care of them. Rest now and don't worry about a thing. Nah. Yucatan, there were a few times where I thought I was going to see Yerrigander. Every little bad thing that I ever did came flashing back before my eyes. Even that time when I climbed that tree to steal Falbeast eggs when I was 8. What would Yerrigander punish me for? She already punished you, remember? That time you spent 2 months in bed. Don't worry about it, Russ. We've made it through so much. Now we've got another reason to keep going. We have to see Oak and Barry grow up. Yerrigander won't separate us. Yucatan, is it snowing outside? It's a little cold. I'll add some firewood and get you another blanket. Sleep well, Russ. Winter will pass, and we can go see the flowers by the lake when spring comes. All of us together. Zerus closes her eyes and falls asleep quietly. It should be a moment of happiness, but Yucatan feels a rock in his heart. He looks outside. The clouds are thick and heavy, but the snow refuses to fall. This is the kind of weather is rarely seen in Yerrig. Maybe we're in for a cold winter this year, Yucatan thinks. When the winter passes... You ever wonder if, like, a place that didn't have industry and then rapidly adopts orange industry might, you know, produce a lot of dust, which might maybe affect the weather, which could possibly cause a catastrophe? in a place that's never had a catastrophe.
She is omnipresent. She can not be sought. We need not question her existence. She is there when we choose to follow her. Do you remember this from the scriptures? No. This is not how it should be. If she is omnipresent and cannot be sought, then who hears her will and who... You should rest, Great Elder. Don't let yourself suffer. I see it, Enya. I see unprecedented calamity descending upon Mount Carlin. I see Originium bringing ruin to the land.
This guy gets it.
I see her abandoning Yarig.
Caught up in a bout of excitement, the old man stares outside the window, his face warped and twisted, seemingly unseething in anger or engulfed by a terror that defies description. He raises his withered arms, trying to grasp something, only for them to fall back down meekly. Finally, he quiets down, as though he has expended the last sliver of strength he had.
Great Elder. Enya, say a prayer for me. The final chapter of the Yaragander.
And all the rivers shall converge upon this place at the end of it all. And you shall walk the path forward alone, and the path you shall walk lies beneath your feet. She sighs as she speaks the words. She turns around and disappears in the window and snow, or the wind and snow from whence she came.
You have no hope to escape. The people of Yarig know the wind and snow better than any outsider. Your arts are not effective here. We don't want to damage our relationship with Rhinelab. Otherwise, I would keep you here by any means necessary to retrieve the military secrets that you stole. I'm not carrying your military secrets. I have no reason to believe you. You don't understand. You don't understand what? You don't understand what these data mean. How long do you think your god will protect you? You can't talk your way out of this.
Carolyn, if you have data that's saying a catastrophe is about to happen, maybe you should say something about that to, like, the government.
Wait, what's with the clouds? Run.
The avalanche struck in an instant. A loud crack moved the mountains that had remained dormant for many years. Snow poured down the slopes mixed with rock and black crystals, and all creation was obscured by gray and white. The mountains trembled, the echoes lingered in the valley. Few could comprehend what had just happened. It was the first catastrophe in history to strike this place. First snow. Nobody could have predicted what would happen when the first snow fell. Avalanche warning index. Oh boy. Triggers an avalanche when you reach a certain level.
It'll be fine.
Is that the Sharp? It's crazy that he's here. Also crazy that these little robots are here. What happened? This is a place Yeragander prohibits anyone from setting foot. She won't let anyone through. Look at this Saintess statue. She uses it as a medium to repel intruders with avalanches. Just like earlier, avalanches will occur in the direction the Saintess statue is pointing, pushing enemies with great force and dealing true damage. All that just to drive some intruders away. Enemies need only stepping into the avalanche area to raise the index. And the Saintess statue's SP increases too. Once the index reaches a specific threshold, an avalanche will occur. Avalanches deal true damage, now you know.
Down you go.
There's a big guy over there. The avalanche warning index increases based on the enemy's weight. Makes sense. The heavier an enemy, when they step into the index, the stronger Yeragander feels their intrusion.
Down you go. Down you go.
I'll back you up.
Appropriate terrain for me.
The avalanche is about to strike.
Don't even think of coming through.
What happened? Operators in the avalanche area also increase the index. It will also push operators in the area by 1 tile, and they also will take true damage. At least that was a deployable tile behind me. Were it not the case, I think I'd have taken even more damage. No room to fall back. Mind your surroundings and try your best not to trigger any more avalanches. We'll have to try to block enemies outside the area to keep Aurora safe. I mean, Aurora is useless there. I feel like we should just redeploy her. I was hoping Yeragander would help us drive away our enemies. From this position, concentrating our forces in the avalanche area could prove advantageous, don't you think? Let's leave it to the doctor to decide whether to keep the avalanche coming or not. I say, keep it coming.
I won't sleep.
Freeze.
Here I am.
Oh. Oh, those guys are... Oh, the avalanche area is in the back as well. I didn't see that. Hmm.
Take aim.
Freeze!
Mission accomplished.
I think we did all right.
Carlin Trade R&D unlocked. Do I get to make my own battleships? Amidst the wailing foul beasts continue to circle above the snow, heralding news of death. More misfortune is still on its way. Alright, so...
I have learned some new tricks since the last battle.
let's add in some of the characters we'll be using.
Victory belongs to the faithful.
You're in luck. I just completed my experiment.
Pretty much all the Yarrick people, because I didn't couldn't be bothered with the other, with like Carrier, Matterhorn. I guess Aurora too. Not many sniper people though, actually.
No need for introductions. I'm already familiar with everyone here.
Relax, leader. I'll make sure your package gets there intact. That's not what you're worried about? Oh, I get it now. Whatever you want to blow up, I'll wipe it
Never
off
got
and fix it with
Dagenbecker
land.
rip.
A day of fine sun and gentle breeze. I hope everyone makes it home safe.
I guess Mulesies could show up in this. I'm not actually sure if she will.
Sunlight's a little spicy. Just let me take 5.
I mean, I guess I'll just bring the other versions of
May the
themselves.
holy Mount Carlin be with us.
We all have our roles to play. Use my abilities as best you see fit.
Why not? What else do I want?
Guess I'll bring monster.
When necessary, you'll see a more familiar side of me.
2 extra slots of random people. I guess I'll bring an extra tank.
Mission time. Perfect. I get to stretch my legs far, far
And a
away
quick
from
free to play.
Leave it to me, Doctor.
Speaking of Matterhorn.
Team Alpha, drop the supplies in the east side clearing. Set up medical tents in conjunction with the Pale Roche reinforcements and be ready to receive wounded.
Right.
Team Bravo, take your shovels and wineskins and look for survivors in the ruins of the train station. Be thorough and keep your eyes open for any cries.
It was the train station that got hit? Oh my gosh. Oh, then maybe she actually saved people by doing the bomb threat thing. Alright, team, grab your gear and follow me.
Try not to make it too much noise. We could still be looking at a second avalanche. The team is on its way to investigate the mountains. Trust our people and trust in Yerigander's protection.
Bye, Yerigander.
Yeah, by Yerigander. By Yerigander. Time's a wasting. Get moving.
Yes, sir. Before the voices disperse on the cold wind, the servants of Clan Silverash are already on the move, spreading out on the snow in every direction. They are not the only ones here. The white tide has torn a gash in the peace.
Over here! This one's alive! Hang in there. You're a son of Yerigander. You can take it.
My leg! I can't move my leg. My leg! Ah.
Don't move. Somebody in the back, report.
We dug a hole, but his leg is pinned under a steel girder. If we can't get it out of the way, we'll need a surgeon to... No, I'll try to dig it open a little bit more. Okay, good news. The girder's already broken. All we need to do is lift it up.
All we need is a little elbow grease. Over here. All hands on deck. Hold on tight. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
It hurts.
We got a gap. Pull him out now.
I got him. Take it easy. Lift him up and put him on the tarp. Careful not to pull the wound open. Slowly, carefully. Got it. The stretcher. Out of the way. Stretcher coming through. Suppressed, restrained cries, rescuers, stretchers, survivors. The rescuers run back and forth on the white snow, their faces red with exertion. Hot sweat dripping on the snow.
Take over from me here, Gulo. Save every soul you can. Right. But where are you going, sir? Sir Arktosh. Is rescue work in the south already done? No, not yet. Gulu's overseeing it. I came to find you. Oh, we're handling things here, no need to worry. The Browntails' help has already arrived. They brought blankets and food. Madame Ratatatos wanted to come personally, but she seems to be otherwise engaged. I figured as much. We know what's going on. Nobody blames her. She's Drach. The timing of this bloody disaster.
That's quite the word. One that does not come up at all. Obviously an expletive of some sort. It came out of the blue. There were no warning signs, no chance to prepare.
Yes, that's why I came to you. You know the rules. This avalanche happened on Perosh land, and we're responsible for the mountains here. We've been watching the thickness of the snowpack. I've seen the records myself. Everything was normal. That's why I came to ask. Don't you people at that research institute of yours, whose job is to check on the mountains, what are they saying?
Research Institute, you mean Rhine Lab?
Yeah, they spend all day on the mountains, carrying all that newfangled gear. You're not telling me that they didn't find anything, are you?
They have their own projects to deal with, and they don't necessarily focus all their attention on the mountains. Besides, we came as soon as we heard about the avalanche.
We haven't had a chance to find out what they know.
Sutter and COD sent Degenbrecher up the mountains with a team. They should be back soon.
This is sending chills up my spine. What in blazes is this avalanche?
The wind wails, carrying snowflakes with it. The man turns around and stares at the mountain. He may be a mountain among men, but he is little more than a pebble before the silent mountains.
Is that?
A group is moving quickly down the snowy mountain path, heading for the two men.
Sir Matterhorn, we must let Sir and Ceres know at once. We found...
The investigator's expression is deathly pale, his fur boots wet and gray with dirty snow. In the wind, his rapid and ragged breathing sounds almost like wailing. If there are no further questions about the framework agreement, let us now move on to the detailed terms of the agreement. First, concerning taxation of the joint Yereg-Kazimierz mining endeavor.
Sir, Madame Degenbrecher's outside. She has something to report.
Right now.
Yes, she says it's extremely urgent.
What's this urgent matter?
We found this on the mountain where the avalanche occurred.
Degenbrecher opens her gloved hand, and a small black shard of oranginium lies quietly in her palm. On a mountain in Yereg.
If the mountain by the train station counts as Yereg. Both Gnosis and Rhodes Island have examined it. It's almost certain that...
Degenbrecher looks around her, making sure there are no eavesdroppers, and drops her voice.
This avalanche was a catastrophe.
How many know?
The investigation team is our people, so we can keep them quiet. But a number of those at the foot of the mountain have been infected. It won't be a secret for long. Instruct Matterhorn to set up a blockade and not allow civilians to approach. I want checkpoints on the mountains as well. Contact Rhodes Island and request secrecy in the housing and treatment of patients. Tell them to contact Carlin Trade if they need any help. And tell Ratatos and Arktos to meet me at the train station in 1 hour. Whatever it takes. Understood. Anything else? Take a squad and go to Vine Bead Court immediately. And tell Gnosis to take a team to protect the Rhine Lab observation station. Understood. And Sudis checks his clothes and goes back to the conference room. I apologize for the delay. Let us continue. First, concerning taxation of the joint Yereg-Kajimersh mining endeavor.
Preposterous, preposterous! There has never been such a prophecy in any of the scriptures. Why would Yeragander punish us with a catastrophe? It's preposterous. But it happened. She left us because she is angry with us. How do we explain this catastrophe if not by Yeragander's anger? Look at the crowd surrounding the Vine Bead Court now. They are pious believers in Yeragander, gentle children of Yereg. Are we to tell them that the families and friends they lost, all their suffering happened for no reason at all? The people are troubled. Their faith is shaken, but it's at times like this that our own faith must be stronger than ever. How do we know this isn't a trial from Yeragander to reinforce our faith? Yeragander has not abandoned Yereg, but why would she punish Yereg for no reason? Perhaps it happened because we acted against Yeragander's will. The young cleric takes one look at the Saintess in the middle of the hall, then lowers his head without a word. You may speak your mind. Saintess, I believe this is the fury of Yeragander. It's a warning. Because the Vine Bead Court, because we made the wrong choice. We should not have allowed the faithless to build upon Mount Carlon. We should have remained firm, rejected them. If they did not defile the temple of Yeragander and anger her, why would Yereg... No, she's actually really into that one. His voice grows lower, at the same time firmer. The hall is quiet, but no one's speaking out in objection. I see. You believe that I, the Saintess, have offered Yeragander, or offended Yeragander, and brought catastrophe upon Yereg. No, Saintess. What I mean is... No, your words offer valuable insight. It is not only the people at the foot of the mountain. Many who sit among us think the same way. This is what is happening now. People doubt the Vine Bead Court. And you, too, are anxious and wavering. Cleric Fungo, Cleric Noah. One of you believes that Yeragander continues to favor us as she always has. The other believes that Yeragander has. She bows her head and thinks for a moment, her alabaster face calm as ice. Recite to me the 3 protections detailed in the Yeragander. Yes, Saintess. The first protection, page 7, line 9 of Yeragander. And so she spoke to the shepherd boy, saying, I shall grant you shelter and all that you may need. I shall hunt in the woods, and I shall plant seeds in the earth, such that you will have furs to wear and food to eat, and neither frost nor famine shall take you. And that she protects us from the harms of cold and hunger. The second protection, page 25, line 17 of the Yeragander. And so the Protector came forth from the people, awakened in the clouds of myriad colors, and built high walls of earth watered with snow. And thus she protects our homes and our kin, and she taught us the means to defend ourselves from our enemies. And page 32, line 2 of the Yargander towards the end, that day she proclaimed to the people, My eye shall watch over you, my fur shall warm you, my backbone shall protect you, while my flesh and blood shall bless you. You have learned the way of wind and snow, and learned the form of walking. You are the people of Yereg, and the land of Yereg belongs to you from this day forth. Very good. Now tell me, is there anywhere in the Yaragander where Yaragander promises that Yereg will always be safe from catastrophe? Or are you making that promise to Yaragander's people on her behalf? Kind of crazy that they just named the book Yaragander. Many of the seated clerics look down without a word. And it is quiet enough to hear a pin drop. The smell of incense fills the nostrils, but it feels as though their breaths have been frozen in place by the exchange that has just occurred. Your words ring true, Saintess. Catastrophe has struck Yereg. Some have died and others have become afflicted. The entire Snow Realm has heard the news. Fear, anxiety, sorrow, and even anger are spreading throughout the people of Yereg. Our duty is to seek a solution. Certainly. Now is not the time for debate, and my words are intended as a warning, not to fall into the twin traps of panic and prejudice. You are the faithful devotees of Yaragander, and you understand the weight that words have. No member of the Vinebead Court is to speak of Yaragander's punishment from this moment forth. Tomorrow I will go into the Hall of Writings and devote myself to studying the scriptures and hearing her voice. Elder Adso. Yes, Saintess. As the new Great Elder, you shall oversee the Vinebead Court in my stead during my retreat. You are to carry out the duties of the court faithfully and diligently, from placating the people to conducting the memorial service and copying the scriptures for the reposts of the dead. Understood. We must have faith. Yereg has weathered many storms and overcome many challenges. The Vinebead Court is ever with the people. And these things haven't gotten out of hand. The girl exhales and slumps over the desk, finally able to relax the back that she has kept straight as a fur in the snow. I don't understand. Why do people keep treating our god as a wishing well? Why do they attribute every good and every bad in their lives to her? I know, this is not how I should think as their saintess, but I don't understand why a catastrophe would strike now either. Bring in the dressers, please, Yar. The funeral preparations are done. Starting tomorrow we'll... Yar? The room is quiet except for the whistling of the wind and the cracking of the fire. Enya turns to find that the room is completely empty. Yar, where are you? The handmaiden who should be at the Saintess's side at all times is nowhere to be seen. There is only Enya's own shadow, thin and long in the light of the fireplace flickering in the dim room. Yar? She leave without a word? Enya, tell me honestly. Oh, this is the old Great Elder. Do you still hear Yaragander's voice? The cracking of burning firewood echoes through the empty room. The wind continues to wail outside the window. She can almost hear the cries of the bewildered devotees at the foot of Mount Garland. Enya recalls the day that she first came to the Saintess's quarters. An unfamiliar room, an unfamiliar smell. Home was well in sight, yet she would never return there under her own name. At that time, she felt the same emptiness as though this room were a snowy cave, but she has grown accustomed to having a companion, someone to whom she can pour her heart out, someone on whom she can rely. But now, the Yaragander scripture lies open on the desk. The dressing mirror reflects the girl's helpless expression.
Yar, you promised you wouldn't disappear so suddenly. Exactly what happened?
Make certain my claws don't scratch you.
What the heck? Excuse me, is that a snowman bear thing? Takes extra damage when colliding with high ground. That's not what I expected from the enemies in this.
The situation is crystal clear. Great
So our first skill is just reducing the DP costs, which they will then gain a barrier.
Great minds think alike. Thy trampling of this hallowed ground shall beget bitter rue. Acknowledged.
This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them. That's a cool barrier effect, though.
Spring breeze, timely rain. Now we sow the grain.
Wait, for the snow shall bury this all. Great minds think alike. Wait, for the snow shall bury this all.
What? Oh god. All right, pause. What are these enemies? Fluffy Snowball. Becomes heavier and stronger as it absorbs snow children. Returns to the initial form on colliding with high ground. If this was like where elegies turn to ash or whatever. When elegies are ash, and it's like, oh, this is a fairy tale, okay. But this isn't a fairy tale. What are these creatures? Are these creations of Yeragander? Is Yera making little creatures as proxies often do? Why is that the case? Oh my gosh.
Thy trampling of this hallowed ground shall beget bitter rue.
I plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Thy trampling of this hallowed ground shall be... The fool flaunting his gallantry reaches none with his vanity.
Mission accomplished.
Rhine Lab observation station 2 months ago. It's Mulesies! That was fast. An observation station of this size built in such a short period of time. Business must have cried tears of blood when they approved the budget. Actually, we got more sponsorship offers from financial institutions than we could handle the moment the committee approved the Yereg observation station. If anything, funding was the least of our worries on this project. Honestly, Silence, I didn't expect the committee to approve the proposal that easily. I had my reservations. I still think Rylab is too adventurous with regard to the research into the star pod. There are numerous potential risks that we have not fully considered. But I also recognize the stability I hope for may never come. At the end of the day, it's the specific people in whom we place our trust. Well then, thank you for your trust, Silence of the Scientific Ethics Consistency Committee. I hope what we're doing is worth it. Of course it is. This station is a unique opportunity for the company. In addition to the Starpod research, the low orangenium environment of Yereg also offers a rare opportunity for biological research. Not to mention, Mariam has wanted to visit Carlin for ages. Mariam? So is this before he went missing? Are we actually... Does that give us a bit of a timeline? Because if this is 1101, then we know now that the ice field stuff would have to happen post 1101 for sure. Which does make sense, like that was already pretty much had to have been the case, but now we actually have a bit of an actual confirmation. Even Ferdinand came up with the proposal for the station's core power supply just 2 weeks after we got approval. Of course, he buried his head in his theoretical research right after that. Alina from Energy is handling the actual implementations. Let's hope our interactions with Yera go as smoothly. I believe there'll be no need to worry about that. The door to the observation station opens from the outside. The visitor flicks away the snow that has fallen on his shoulders and walks in. We meet again, Mr. Elderweiss.
Just a regular visit to see if you need anything for the construction of the station. It seems like things are progressing quite smoothly.
Gnosis looks up at the bright lights installed on the spacious ceiling of the station. Rhinelab and Carlin Trade have worked together to build this little temple, sturdy and bright in an astonishingly short period of time. Compared to the houses of Yereg, its bold, futuristic designs might as well have come from another world.
Carlin Trade will do everything in our power to assist Rhinelab's observation project, and provide any assistance necessary outside of the scope of work. As long as the terms agreed in the treaty are upheld, we will enjoy maximum freedom to conduct your activities in Yereg.
Thank you for your generosity, Mr. Edelweiss. Research has always been the sole purpose of Rhinelab. We have no reason to violate the treaty.
Of course, I believe as much. Such transnational cooperation is unprecedented in the history of Terra. It will undoubtedly produce its share of obstacles. I simply wish to express that, as long as we proceed with due candor in the sharing of scientific information, we will be able to avoid the sort of accident that occurred in Trimounts.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Will the Saintess come and visit the station?
I expect she will attend the opening ceremony once the facility is complete. Is there any particular reason why you hope to meet her? Oh, nothing serious. I'm just a curious critter. I kind of remember the Saintess wasn't too into our project, but then she flipped around and agreed all of a sudden. I just want to know what made her change her mind, and I figured that that'd be a chance to ask.
The Saintess has a very busy schedule. If you wish to meet her, you may want to attend some local ceremonies, if the fancy strikes. The Saintess and the Vine Bead Court would be very happy to receive you. Let me know if you have such intentions, and I'll make the necessary arrangements.
Well, aren't you meticulous? You seem made for this job.
I'm simply showing you proper Yerrick hospitality. It's our mutual hope that this cooperation will be a fruitful one, free of trouble.
Much appreciated. Our project wouldn't be going so smoothly without your help.
I would not call it help, but we are simply trying to achieve the same goal. Carlin Trade will protect the mountains of Yerrick for you, paving the roads and providing the necessary freedom for your activities. In turn, Rhinelab will share data from your studies of our local ecology and assist with medical development.
The contract details have to go between Director Fitzroy and Carlin Trade, of course. I'm a researcher, not a diplomat. I just want you to know that Rhinelab has come to this sacred place in good faith.
On this, I think we are of the same mind.
They shake hands and with nods and smiles, any image that could have served as a perfect press photo.
There's no need to worry. We will continue along as friends, assuming we both abide by our agreement.
My gosh, she looks so cool. The representative from Carlin Trade is here, Alina. They want to meet a representative of Rhinelab as soon as possible.
Why? We don't have any scheduled meetings with Carlin Trade, do we? Is it because of the catastrophe?
They want to discuss the cause and at least obtain the data observed by the station.
Right. Did you see Carolyn anywhere? She's supposed to be in charge of the observation data, isn't she?
That's the other question I have for you. No one's seen her since yesterday morning.
What?
Men with guns surrounding the station, demanding that all of our researchers gather in the lobby for questioning. Is this how Carlin Trade treats its friends, Mr. Edelweiss? The researchers stand around the spacious lobby in small groups. Gnosis and the guards of Clan Silverash occupy the outside area near the door. The two groups stand opposite one another, as though separated by an invisible river.
It's a request, not a demand, and it seems that not all your researchers are accounted for.
Who exactly are you looking for?
A researcher who was spotted in a restricted military zone of Yerrig.
Gnosis scans the faces of the researchers one by one. The strong guards stand silently while the researchers exchange wordless gazes.
She is not here. It seems that the Rhinelab is not fully aware of your researchers' whereabouts.
If you're accusing us of espionage, I'll ask that you submit your complaint through the official channels. We are unable to cooperate with impromptu investigations like so.
Of course. There is another reason why I'm here. I'm sure you've heard about the catastrophe that occurred within Yerrick's borders several hours ago. Something that has never before happened in our history. Panic is spreading. The people's nerves are sensitive and anything new may provoke a reaction. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Should I trust that you're not one of the sensitive ones, Mr. Edelweiss?
My views on this matter and Carlin Trade's views are not important at this time. What is important is that the people want an explanation. I hope to work together with you to find the cause of this catastrophe.
I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I just checked the station's observation logs. There was nothing out of the ordinary in the 72 hours preceding the catastrophe. So you're telling me that the observation station did not detect anything abnormal leading up to the first catastrophe to strike this land in 1,000 years? That's the truth, at least based on our observation data. Elena. It's alright. Mr. Edelweiss wants the truth. We'll give him the truth. The primary objective of this observation station is to study the star pod. Current research shows no relationship between the star pod and catastrophes. Similarly, any assertion that building an observation station here might bring catastrophe to Yerrig is purely speculative with no basis in evidence. Wait a second. Oh, Elena, now's not the time to be argumentative. May I be frank?
You may. The young woman's voice is calm, her gaze firm and unwavering.
I won't mince words then. This may run contrary to the Yerrig faith, but from a scientific perspective, so-called sudden catastrophes are not an abnormal occurrence. It is the peace and quiet that Yerrig has enjoyed for so long, and the altitude that and the attitude of taking it for granted that is truly abnormal.
The lobby is completely silent. Elena's words echo in the end of the corridor.
When this observation station was first established, Ryan Lab considered adding a catastrophe warning system. Unfortunately, we placed too much trust in past experience and did not consider the installation of this system to be a priority. If we were to take remedial measures, the real priority should be for Ryan Lab and Carlin Trade to go back to the negotiating table and establish an effective catastrophe detection system in Yerrig as soon as possible.
A most astute observation, miss. I agree completely. Carlin Trade will make developing a catastrophe detection system a top priority. We would like to obtain a copy of the station's observation data from the past month. May we expect your cooperation in this?
Of course. One moment, please.
How?
I didn't know you had it in you, Elena. Sorry, Director Milesies. Was I too hot-headed? A little bit, maybe. I was just angry at how science has to explain for perceptions that are completely unscientific, no matter where we are. We have to recognize that science can be a very distant thing for a lot of people. The people and the things that trouble us are part of this land. It's not something that we can ignore. Like Silence said, science is a clear, incisive look at every one of us. I know, but this is just so absurd. Never mind that for now. Let's get the data we need. Data. It's not like we will find anything. Wait, this graph.
Elena picks up the scattered papers and notices the shape of a certain curve on the spectrogram.
This isn't possible. What is it? This machine is used to study the star pod's structure by bombarding it with high-powered particle beams and observing the resulting electromagnetic radiation.
Sick?
But I just realized that the data obtained between 3 to 4 a.m. on December 7th is identical to the data from the same period on December 4th. An unusual coincidence? No, it's impossible. Just like how no two snowflakes are completely alike, atmospheric electromagnetic radiation is constantly changing. There is only one possibility: if the exact same waveform is displayed during the same time period on 2 different days for an entire hour, someone altered these data. Falsifying data to support a hypothesis, but people don't usually pull shenanigans like that until way later in a project. Got any ideas of who might have done it? December 7th, the day before the catastrophe. What day is it? She said between, like, the first time she mentioned December 7th makes it sound like it's not December 7th, but now she's saying it's December 7th is the day before the catastrophe. Oh, the day before. So then it's December 8th. Okay. So we were at the end of 1101. The one on observation duty was Carolyn. Could it be? Angry shouts pierced through the metal walls. Give Mount Carlin back to us! Back to Yerrig! Back to Yerrigander! Get off Yerrigander's land!
Leader, don't forget to invite me out for drinks on your tab, okay?
Got a friendship achievement, that's crazy. Lovely neighbors. The visitor knocks on the door, bringing fine food and wine and putting on a show of friendship. Waiting for a sign of weakness he can exploit. There they are, the unclean who defiled Mount Carlin and the faith of Yerrick. The Iron House of Foreigners has angered Yerrigander. Oh, Yerrigander on high, forgive our sins. The sound of praying and sobbing mixed with angry shouting. The sounds weave into a rope, connecting fearful, tearful, and angry faces, surrounding the newly built observation station. The steel door remains unmoving. A wizened voice cuts through the crowd. Remember that the wind wrapping the mountains does not come from nowhere. The wind continues to roar. The old woman walks across the snow to the tightly shut door, her voice clearly heard by the others. It is her breath sweeping down from the snow-white peaks. It is her ever-vigilant watch, rising from the deepest valley to the highest cloud. It will drive out the miasma of evil and the parasites that hide amongst the rocks. It brings all the sounds back to her ears so that she will hear, and the mountains bright and clear. Wait, is that door moving? Yes, they're opening the door. Our protest worked. Open up and hear our voice. Listen to the true voice of Yerrigander's people. Listen to the voice of Yerrig. You are not welcome here. You must leave. Outsiders off Mount Carlin. Go back to where you came from. Outsiders off Mount Carlin. Outsiders off Mount Carlin! The cries grow louder and clearer. Someone stretches out and waves toward the sky. It is the result of sincere prayer. Or did the combined force of their invocations cause steel to tremble? The door opens. All breaths are abated in the silence. That garb, are they from Clan Silverash? The one behind them, the Edelweiss. Did he come to send these outsiders away? He'd better. They were the ones who brought those people in, and they should be the ones to pick up the mess. Something about his expression. Clear out the protesters. Avoid casualties. Put down your weapons. Back off. We're not backing off. Tell us, why are you telling us to go away? The ones who should go away are... Keep your hands off me. Edelweiss, whose side are you on? Whose side are you think you're on? These weapons and shields are pointed towards us. Isn't it clear enough who his friend and enemies are? A blizzard is coming. You should leave before the road is completely blocked. No need to worry about the dangers along the way. Clan Silverash's guards will ensure your safety and bring you back to... Ugh. Grandma, wait, don't... The old woman forces her arm through the guard's ranks. Her movements are swift, and without hesitation, the cold snow splashes upon the Liberi's face. May Yaragander forgive your sins. Pity and resolute mercy congregate upon the wrinkled face. Her cold finger touches Gnosis' forehead, leaving behind a simple curved line. A Yerrig ritual intended to drive the evil out of a child afflicted by fever. May her miracle drive out the miasma of evil, the parasites that hide amongst the rock from you. Remember that the winds of Yerrig have visited upon your stubbornness before. Now you send her away. Go home, madwoman. There is no change in Gnosis' expression as the snow melt flows down his face. The winds on the mountain are harsh. Don't catch a cold. Oh, is this a Yerrig town? This is very pretty. Yerrig, the beautiful paradise, clean and pristine beneath the wind and snow, pious and pure under divine protection. The faith of its people, it's firm and as the mountains, never wavering. Or perhaps a single snowflake and it is all it takes to begin its collapse. What do you think of the catastrophe? Will it shake your faith in Yaragander? The faith of Yaragander isn't so weak. The people of Yerrig have never wavered, even before the toughest trial. I'll set out for Mount Carlin once the catastrophe is cleaned up and my leg is good again. The sun of Yerrig will drive out all corruption and evil, and those who bathe in it need fear neither pain nor illness, nor the snow disease. Yaragander is great, Yaragander is kind, she will never abandon Yerrig. Everything will go back to the way it was once we clean up the snow. Of course, it's all the fault of those Rhine Lab people. Why are they interviewing a child? Everything started going bad when they came. Yerrig doesn't need no observation station. All we need is Yarragander's protection. Drive them out. Give me back my peaceful life and my mom and dad. Is there anything I can help? Wait, you're Victorian. Get your pitchforks. We'll let this one into the village. Colombians and Victorians, is everybody making their home on our turf now? Get lost. You're not welcome here. Phew. This will be tougher than I thought. Do you need help? Oh my gosh, it's Cliff Art. She actually is appearing. I wasn't sure if she would. Hi, I'm fine. I'm just short on film. I don't suppose I'll be able to find any here. Let me see. You can get this model from the Central Mall in the Silverash domain. Nice pics. Are you a photographer from Victoria? A reporter, to be exact. Good timing. May I get an interview? Who, me? How do you view the catastrophe that just occurred in Yerrig? How do you view your faith when Yaragander no longer protects Yerrig from catastrophe? I I thought I heard you talking about Yaragander and catastrophes from over there. You want to know how Yareg people think? Of course, we came to report on the true Yareg. People in other lands know very little about it, and we want your voice to reach them. There is no need to be burdened by the weight of religion. Liberate yourself from systemic oppression of rules and tradition, and tell me what you truly feel. Wow, I've never heard so many big words spoken in a single breath. My view on catastrophes is simple. Catastrophes outside Yareg are really bad, and it's the same for this catastrophe in Yareg. People suffer and get hurt everywhere. It makes me sad, and I wish these things never happened. As for faith, may I ask a question? Does Victoria have a god too? Victoria? Yes, I'm curious about what god of Victoria is like. Is he real petty? Does he get angry easily? You've been going around the village asking questions for days. You don't talk about anything other than Yaragander is angry and Yaragander has abandoned you. So I thought maybe faith to you is something that's colder, harsher. A smile appears on the girl's face, her cheeks rise, and her voice is light and spry. I believe the god of Yareg isn't like that. Yaragander is like the people of Yareg, generous and kind. She doesn't get angry over cable cars and factories or light bulbs and books, and she won't throw a tantrum by causing a catastrophe by taking lives. Excuse me. Yaragander isn't petty like that.
Oh, one more box. Move over.
Alright, put it down. You've got some of your truck. We got another 15 barrels of burdenbeast wine. Burdenbeast milk wine, even. Can you bring it with you?
15 barrels, you ought to keep it. Can't have a big bar like this with nothing for guests. 3 great clans alone have donated plenty of stuff to the afflicted village, not to mention the local gentry. A few barrels of wine more or less won't make much difference.
I don't like to hear that. They can donate, but I can't. Who are you to decide whether they need it or not?
Which of us has actually seen a catastrophe before? But that's too much.
It's not. I know you're short on wine. Not only does wine keep people warm, it also can be used in medicine, and even to disinfect wounds when necessary. If we had all this stuff back then, well, never mind. Anyway, you're taking it not 1 barrel less, or I'll take it as you saying that I'm not one of you and I don't belong in Yareg.
Wait, that's not what I meant.
Then take it. Take it as me doing a favor. You know that father-in-law of mine is like. He's endured hardship all his life, but he's never been stingy when it comes to sharing with hungry people. Now move aside and let me put the cargo in.
Just don't get in any trouble and make him even angrier. I still remember how he huffed and puffed when you proposed to his daughter. I thought he was a nice guy who just wanted to help. Turns out he was after my little girl Freya, he said. He said it and he was still mad, so he pulled out his cane.
What are you chatting so excitedly about? Let's get to work. Dad and I just checked our stock. We still have about 2 truckloads of stuff, mostly dried meat and cheese, plus some butter and herbs. Good thing I caught you before you left, Crete. Need to tell Carlin Trade to send another truck here.
2 trucks, you...
Why are all these people named after locations? Lisburn, Crete, Yucatan.
I told you, Crete. Fine, suit yourself. You're the only newlyweds I know who'd rather give away their whole storehouse before taking any gifts.
It's a catastrophe after all. It's never happened to Yareg. No one knows how bad it is. But now it's time for us to work together and help each other in Yarragander's name.
In Yarragander's name, we'll work together and pull through.
Let's get back, Lisburn. The wind's getting strong.
I can't help but have a feeling.
A feeling of what?
A strange feeling that something's about to happen. I must be overthinking it.
Yes, it's Harold.
Your intuition is as sharp as always.
Oh. Wait, Harold? Is this real? Am I dreaming?
Well, that's certainly an honor. You still remember my name. Looks like you haven't forgotten the time we fought alongside each other.
Please stop making fun of me. What brings you here?
What else could it be? We've heard there's a spot of trouble in Yerrig, so we came to offer some warmth as a good neighbor should.
Well, a whole truck of supplies.
A truck? Take another look.
Harold gestures behind himself, and Lisburn sees a long procession of vehicles bearing the Victorian crest stretching as far as the eye can see.
Some worth, do you say?
Well, we're warmer than some other folk, to be sure.
I'm glad Harold's here. It was another one I was like, I'm not sure if he's actually going to show up again, but he might. Colombian ambassador. I must emphasize our concerns regarding this matter, Mr. Silverash. We consider Carlin Trade a reliable partner, and Yerrig a respectable nation. We had hoped that the observation station would be the tip of the spear of our mutual understanding and cooperation. I have to say, at the moment, we are disappointed.
I understand your Excellency's concerns. Allow me to explain.
No, I don't need an explanation. We understand the unfortunate circumstances that have befallen Yerrig, and we express our deepest sympathies. But that is no reason for Yerrig mobs to attack innocent Colombian scientists. We're seeing verbal abuse of our scientists, promoting hate and xenophobia. We are outraged by Yerrig's contempt for and the violation of the safety of other people. Should your government continue to allow the situation to spiral out of control, the Colombian side will take action to ensure the safety of Rhine Lab researchers by evacuating them in accordance with our treaty.
I mean, he had the guards escort the protesters away. What more do you want?
Regarding the incident at the Rhine Lab observation station, Carlin Trade personnel have arrived on site and are working to de-escalate the conflict, preventing the situation from further deteriorating. As I understand it, there has been no injury to person or property.
Should we thank our lucky stars, or that public sentiment has not yet reached a boiling point? Should we continue to trust in Yerrig's ability to stabilize the situation, or should the public outrage dissipate, or should that public outrage
dissipate overnight? I guess that's a sentence.
The fireplace cracks, sending forth a wave of warmth, but there is no warmth on the face in the room. The Colombian ambassador adjusts her posture and raps the table with her finger, speaking in a calm tone. We respect the professionalism, sincerity, and capability that Carlin Trade has demonstrated in the past. It has allowed our cooperation and scientific collaboration to progress safely up to this point. Now, however, the Colombia's best and brightest are in danger on your land. Danger that they never should have found themselves in. Yerrig needs to provide a solution or at least demonstrate a will to resolve the situation. Oh my gosh, look at this guy. Wow. Your Excellency cannot ask so much of a developing country. Consider Yerrig's current circumstances. I find Mr. Silverash's performance thus far quite impressive. I see that Victoria shows great care for her neighbor. But of course, my kind neighbor should always be ready to lend a hand. Remember the prince of Victorian folklore, who gave his golden crown to a foul beast in the snow. The man smiles with an expression of unnatural benevolence. He draws out a piece of paper from his pocket and unfolds it on the table. Here's a checklist for the first catch of humanitarian assistance. Food and blankets, medicines, spirits, sugar, salt, a team of doctors, and 2 veteran peacekeeper squads. Exactly what Yerrig needs right now. This is very generous. Yerrig appreciates your kindness. Not mine. This is the kindness of the Empire of Victoria. Our prince had a heart of gold. He would give his prize sword in the same way he would offer gold and silver. It all depends on what you need, and what manner of threat you face. There is no need to fear or worry. I'm sure you will make a decision that is satisfactory for all 3 sides. After all, survival is an art form in the snow realm. Is it not, Mr. Silverash? Gazes beckoning and questioning converge upon the piece of paper and on the silent young man. What are your thoughts, Mr. Silverash? Insidious looks down at the pushed piece of paper and picks it up. Black and white, neat and clear, there is no deception. Even the names of the squad leaders are listed on the paper, a perfect show of sincerity and pomposity. I have no reason to refuse, do I? As you said, this is exactly what Yerrig needs right now. The supplies will keep the people fed, and the doctors will help us win more battles against illness and death. As for the trained soldiers, I'm sure I need not expound upon usefulness. To the question that was interrupted, Madam Ambassador, Yerrig vowed to protect the safety of each and every researcher at the station when it was first established. That vow has not been broken. I'm not sure why you're so eager to reach the conclusion that Yerrig has lost control of the situation. The Vine Bead Court and Carlin Trade will uphold our end of the bargain. May I ask you to continue to trust in Yerrig's ability to deal with our own problems? As for whether the incident at the observation station was an accident or instigated by those with artillery motives, I believe that time will tell. Very well, Mr. Silverash. I look forward to a show of your competence. But I must remind you how important the project is to Columbia. We believe it to be of paramount significance to all of Terra. Therefore, the Columbian side will deploy any means necessary to protect our scientists and their findings. Any means necessary?
Indeed, I too believe that the scientific exploration taking place in Yerrig belongs to all of Terra. The Empire of Victoria will do our part to maintain Yarrick's stability.
Of course. I'm sure you're all on one mind. I'm sure we're all on one mind on this matter. The sun shines in through the window past the shoulder of the Colombian ambassador and upon the chest of the Victorian ambassador. He stands up from his chair, his back perfectly straight. The discussion seems to have come to a close.
Such is a wise decision. It seems that all of us have gotten what we wanted.
Phew. Is the meeting over? How long have you been waiting? Half an hour. I made good use of it by going through 4 reports while I was waiting. Take a seat. If you want a drink, help yourself. Thank you, but I've already helped myself to the tea that you kept on the top of the shelf. It's been there for a little too long. There's finally time to ask you, what's the situation at Rhine Lab? They have no insights into the catastrophe, as expected. Our people demonstrated, though, enough restraint. There weren't any real attempts at violence. Most satisfied themselves with reciting the Yarrigander as they held hands. But I noticed that there were a few people at the front who shouted the loudest, only to disappear into the crowd when they saw the soldiers. Are you concerned? I'm concerned that this may only be the first incident. The observation station is not the only place where conflict is happening. There has been protesters and rallies in other domains of the other 2 clans, strikes at our factories as well. I'm dealing with it. Someone understands that they can use this catastrophe as a weapon. They know the power of the people's will. A trick that you deployed before. But the weapon is not in your hand this time. You skipped the part where someone threw snow in your face. Is that important? It's the only thing that's unexpected. Did you expect Victoria and Columbia to sit you down for a game of good cop, bad cop? Yes and no. The Colombians' attitude is aggressive, but at the end of the day, it's continued cooperation that they want. The most important thing for them is that the observation station delivers results. As for the Victorians, they're more anxious than we thought. I saw Harold's caravan. I'm sure he's wandering about the streets telling neighborly stories with his old friends. His wandering should take him to Carlin Trade headquarters in another 20 minutes. I suppose you've already signed and received the goods, and I don't suppose we had a choice. The Pale Roches and Brown Tails will find out soon. As for how they'll take it, must just say you should prepare for the Tri-Clan Council. Getting cold feet? I'm used to it. This nonchalant attitude of yours is why people hate you so much. Thank you for your compliment. At the end of the day, however, none of us expected this catastrophe to happen. You can act as unflappable as you like, but don't tell me this disaster hasn't actually phased you. I don't think you're actually that thick. I know. With risk, however, comes opportunity. It's the first catastrophe that Yarrick has seen in 1,000 years. Perhaps it's time for certain things that have lasted 1,000 years to change. Insidious looks out the window. It has started snowing again, covering the land of Yarrick in white. The mountain winds continue to blow. They call it the breath of Yeragander, her messenger. It walks every inch of Yereg, bringing all the sounds back to her ears. She will tell right from wrong, from good from evil, friend from foe, piety from falsehood, medicine from poison, and mirth from tears. She will pass judgment. There's one other thing that you should know. The avalanche caused by the catastrophe destroyed the train station at the foot of the mountain. Strangely and fortunately, there were fewer people inside at the station than expected. It was only in later interviews that we learned that someone had shouted about a bomb in the station, causing the crowd to flee. Who? We don't know yet. But the researchers who disappeared from Rhine Lab remains unaccounted for. If they are one and the same, then she had not cleared the borders of Yereg when the catastrophe occurred. She could still be somewhere in the realm. I see. You're the only one I can count on for this, Gnosis. Find this woman without triggering a response from Rhine Lab. You're finally taking you're finally starting to look serious. Should I ask why? You'll learn soon enough. But ideally one should not have to rely on trick plays on the game of chess.
If you're stumped, just leave the hardest task
I
to
think
me.
I think Monch and Carolyn are buried under snow and probably dead. But probably not. But like realistically should be. Now we have a bird with fingers on its wings, carrying an egg. It just dropped its egg. Oh my gosh. Oh, that can't be blocked. I missed its description, so.
Thy trampling of this hallowed ground shall beget bitter rue.
Pray with all your heart.
She'll probably survive avalanches.
She is omnipresent. Behold the power the mountains pledge to me. She can cold winds care not for whom they chill.
This inflicts cold and pushes them in deployment direction. Snow spreads on the ground. Is there a way to tell where the snow is? Because I can't tell. Oh my gosh, the caster goes on the ground. That's incredible. I also forgot it pushes things, so. Still incredible though.
Monster, in position.
She is omnipresent. She cold winds care not for whom they chill. She cannot be ice and snow, know not mercy.
Yeah, so her deployment direction, at least for this skill, is going to be important to keep track of.
Hear her words. She is she cold winds care not for whom they chill.
I don't know where snow is. Like, it should have already spawned, right? So where is it? Like, there's no... Is there no visual effect?
Your struggles are feeble. She beholds the power the mountains pledge to me. She can ice and snow know not mercy. She is beholds the power the mountains pledge to me.
When the winter nights were long, and there was no food to be found, she walked into the forest to look for seeds. No, not this one either. The word catastrophe doesn't even exist in the old Yeregi language. Is it possible that we truly have never been struck by a catastrophe before? Or maybe the ancient people couldn't tell catastrophes from normal disasters and mixed their records with others. The snowmelt flooded field and pasture. The crops fell to an untimely winter tide. No, none of these sound like catastrophe. I remember there's another story that she used to tell. When the cold winter night froze the heart of Karlan, the enemy from afar came across the ice. The warrior stood vigil with weapon in hand. At dusk, he saw a terrifying abomination in the mirror like ice. Radzorn. The warrior ran back to his clan to warn the others, but...
No one but the warrior could see the creature. Nobody believed his words, and so the warrior began to live in fear.
Elder Odso, when did you...
I came after morning prayers. I did not wish to disturb you, so I remained quiet, but I could not resist the urge to speak when you recited a familiar section of the scriptures.
Implying he's not familiar with every section of the scripture? Yikes.
I apologize for disturbing you.
It's alright. I just thought you were still handling matters at court.
The light is dim from Inya's vantage point. Sitting on the high ladder, the Great Elder's robe seemed to blend in with the color of the floor. She could not see his expression.
You must be very busy after taking over as Great Elder. Is everything going well?
You think too highly of an old man like me, Great Saintess. I spent most of my life here in the Hall of Writings, and I hardly ever step out of the Vine Bead Court, not to mention dealing with matters of court. My only claim to this position is my age, and apart from that, I can only do my best.
You're too modest. I haven't had many chances to speak to you, but I understand you're a man of great learning.
You flatter me. The more I study the tomes, the more conscious I am of my own ignorance. We all are, compared to her. but I heard that you had been studying the scriptures for 2 days and nights without rest, so I came to see if I could share the burden.
It's good timing. I also have some questions that I would like to discuss with you. She closes the scroll and climbs down. The old wooden ladder creaks as it faithfully connects knowledge in high places and the silent ground. Enya walks out from amongst the bookshelves with scrolls in arms, sitting down by the spacious table that is already covered in open scrolls. This is what I've compiled over the past 2 days. I searched for any and all records of unusual disasters in Yereg, but I have yet to find any evidence of a catastrophe ever having occurred in our borders. And I still haven't been able to find any explanation as to why this catastrophe chose this moment to strike, when there has been nothing particularly unusual about this year's winter. The girl looks up from the scrolls to the Great Elder. However, the old man seems uninterested in the scriptures lying before him. He bows his head, squinting with the sagged eyelids that lie below his white hair. You do not seem to approve of the studies that I have pursued.
No, I dare not be so impudent. You are seeking the truth of the catastrophe, the massive thing that has ascended before us, the fear incarnate. Like digging a path through a mountain, or building a bridge over a river. Your actions are undoubtedly logical. But to search the entirety of Eric's history, every little tribulation within the fragments, it is an ordeal akin to searching for a grain of salt in the snow by candlelight.
I am not afraid of ordeals. I must find an explanation for this catastrophe. I must.
I understand. You worry for Yereg and take pity on those affected by the disaster, and I can feel there is some other anxious emotion driving you, but perhaps this anxiety has made you short-sighted.
I've never asked you in private, Great Elder Udso. What do you think of this catastrophe that has struck Yereg?
I admit that my knowledge is shallow, and I'm not able to explain the reason behind this catastrophe. But I agree with what you said a few days ago. Yeragander never promised her people that they would be safe from the threat of catastrophe. Indeed, Yeragander has never made any promises to her people. On the contrary, the scripture often emphasizes that we must not validate her existence through miracles. We believe in her because we believe she is good, that she embodies all that is good. We follow her ways such that we can be our better selves. I agree.
I agree with you, but I fear the public will not respond well to such an interpretation.
Indeed. Reason and insight are a pair of golden shoes that will take you far, but only if your feet can fit them. The day may come when your path of truth is validated, but it is not today.
Then what do we do?
What do we do? That is the question I do not have an answer for. But you were reciting the story of Radsorn. Let us continue.
What the heck is a Radsorn? That's what I want to know. The book on the table records a conflict that occurred over water sources. It is an old story, a common refrain in many civilizations. The Great Elder reaches out and pulls another book from under it. Dust intertwines with the scent of charcoal from the fireplace, like a piece of amber hovering in the air.
The warriors searched far and wide for a way to fight the monster, but even Yaragander could not help the warrior kill a monster that could not be seen. And so she led the warrior back to the frozen lake, and she spoke to him, saying, "The others cannot fight the monster, for they do not see it. Only you may find the way to defeat it." The warrior was enlightened. The heart of Karlon began to melt, and winter was driven out by spring. Yaragander granted her people the final blessing. Her tears froze the enemy, becoming 3 eternally frozen peaks.
The first story of the Book of Home in the Yaragander. It has been subject to various interpretations by scholars of generations. The heart of Karlon likely refers to Lake Silverash, and some believe that this warrior, who heeded the words of Yaragander, was the very archetype of the Saintesses. Opinions differ on the enemy that came across the ice. As for the monster that could not be seen,
Radsorn, a word that has long lost its true meaning, and one of Yarrig's most famous bedtime stories. Parents tell this story to children who refuse to go to sleep before tucking them back in. The name is so widespread that most people have forgotten that Radsorn was not an incantation or meaningless babble, but a word with a clear, specific meaning.
many words lose their meaning over time. At one point, Radsorn was believed to be a loan word that came to Yerg 1,000 years ago, with the same origin as the word catastrophe. If I recall correctly, your work in the Hall of Writings involves decoding and translating imported words that have lost their original meanings.
Research that has, fortunately, borne fruit. The word Radsorn has two parts, the short stopped syllable Rad, and the stiff sibilant syllable Sorn.
My linguistic instincts are tingling. The fireplace flickers as the Great Elder draws a line across the page with his finger, leaving a crease of shadow that fades away in a second, cutting in half a mysterious abomination, the likes of which has never been seen before.
The word Sorn is not hard to understand. It translates roughly to something terrifying or unknown monster. It comes from Old Ursine dialects spoken in Yerrig, which are still used by some of the older generation. It serves as the anchor for our exploration. Rad comes from Victorian, sharing an etymology with the word radlyth, which means blind or short-sighted.
Neither of those actually appear to be real words, though. Nothing comes up.
5 centuries ago, a famous playwright from the county Hillock penned a word in his play The Roses of Shah.
Radlith, which means unseeable, a place of darkness.
Yes, you've seen the manuscript and the comments on it. Unfortunately, I was young at the time, as I left those comments and my knowledge deficient. I have pored over many pages in the years that followed, which granted me sufficient knowledge to discover and address the errors of my past.
The room is silent except for the sound of pen writing on paper, soft as the sound of a tiny bug crawling across the page. The words read Radsorn, the two etymologically different roots separated from each other, with a circle around Rad.
It is a place, indeed, that is unseeable, a place of darkness that one cannot discover on one's own. It means the heart.
Then the meaning of Radsorn is the terrifying thing in the heart of man.
Exactly.
The warrior saw his inner demons upon the lake. Others could not see it because no one else can know your own fears, and Yaragander was powerless as well because the only thing that can defeat one's inner demon is oneself. That is truly terrifying, or what is truly terrifying is not the disaster that we can see and feel, but the monsters in our hearts.
You are wise, Saintus. The sages realized that this 1,000 years ago. Now this catastrophe that has struck Yerrig is also Radsorn, which only Yerrig can see.
But now, there is no Yaragander to lead the Lost Warrior.
Why do you say so? Yaragander could not help the people fight their inner demons, for she is absolutely good without the flaws of man. The darkness that clouds the people's hearts does not exist in her. So she chose a saintess from among the mortals and bestowed upon her the power to fight Radsorn. Only she is always at Yaragander's side. The snow washes her eyes, her piety judged by ice. She hears the guidance of Yaragander that cherishes the love of the people. Only she can dig open ice and soil and make a path for the people of Yarrig out of their heart's maze, such that Yaragander will return to us. That is what the people of Yarrig have believed for centuries. Only the Saintess may atone on their behalf, on behalf of the children of Yaragander.
The Great Elder places his hands on his knees and bows his head in an imploring gesture. The Saintess of the Vine Bead Court sits on the other side of the candle. The flame flickers and the wick grows long. You are proposing a pilgrimage.
It is time for the noon prayers. I'm afraid I must take my leave, Saintess.
One moment, Elder Odso.
Saintess?
Something you said caught my attention. You said Yaragander has never made any promises to her people, and that she does not rely on miracles to demonstrate her existence to her believers. Do you believe that Yaragander doesn't exist?
No. Of course, Yaragander exists. Look at our bodies, our faces, and hear our own language. Every tree and grass, rock and brick in Yarrig is proof of Yaragander's existence. Of course, some hope for a divine spectacle from our God to affirm their own faith. But if a God truly stood before us, answering our every call, what need would remain of faith? This is the first thing that every believer should know. For you to bring this up now.
Never mind, I misspoke. The old man silently bows and leaves. He disappears through the door like a speck of dust brushed off a page. Oh, I see you've beaten me here. Did the two of you summon me to discuss disaster relief? What the hell is this, Enceladus? Arknights tosses a package bearing the Victorian crest on the table. A supply package containing a day's ready-to-eat rations as well as emergency medicine. Don't play the fool. I'm asking, why are there so many Victorians in Yerrig at a time like this? Their reporters are babbling all over the place. Soldiers dressed in workers' garb everywhere. I saw more Victorians and burdenbeasts on my way here. Don't tell me you don't know about this. I'm well aware that Colin Trade has been handing this stuff out. The Vine Bear Court never enacted a ban on Victorians entering Yerrig. Besides, the Victoria's help has been substantial in our present situation. What would it do to Yerrig's international reputation if we rejected a country's assistance for no reason at a time like this, let alone expelling our visitors? Some bloody help! Do you think we can't overcome this catastrophe on our own, without those hypocrites pretending to be good neighbors? The teacup on the table ripples, sending part of its contents splashing onto the wooden surface. It faintly reflects the heads of the three clans, like three mountains of different heights. Besides, what kind of help can the Victorians bring? I remember, that man Harold helped, didn't he? Drinking with our people, chatting them up, going into the pens, treating the beasts and delivering new foals. Foals, even. He made the burdenbeast fat and plump. People say he's a Victorian, but he's not a bad guy. And what happened? What did he do at Lake Silverash? Here I thought you were supposed to be the smart one in CODs. But you can't even learn that lesson. I'm telling you, no matter what the Silverashes and Browntails think, not one Victorian will set foot on Pelrosh land from this day forth. I don't care about your political goals or international reputation. I won't let the Victorians have their way on Yerrig soil. Calm down, Arknights. Are we going to fight amongst ourselves before we've dealt with the foreigners? Then what do you think, Retracing? The fireplace continues to crackle. Retracing's voice is calm, the dark rings around her eyes showing a toll that the past few days has taken on her. This time I'm with Arknights. You've dealt with the Victorians the most. You know their ways, especially at a time like this. Victoria does not show kindness to Yerrig for no reason. The age could turn into a poison pill at any time. All the chaos we've seen over the past few years, what part of it had nothing to do with foreigners? You of all people should understand the risks. I completely agree, Retracing. But we must not forget that while stagnation may be the least risky course of action at present, it is also the surest way to doom. Sending people at a time like this, Victoria is testing us. They are hoping that we will fall apart on our own. But it has taken so long and so much for Yerrig to finally see the result of reform. To choose our doors again, or close our doors again at this junction, would be to lay waste to all that we've been over the years, or all that we've done over the years.
You're set on dealing with the Victorians.
You have my word. Carlin Trade has taken responsibility for establishing contact with other nations. We will handle Yerrig's relationship with Victoria. How can you be so sure? As you said, Victoria has never given up on exploiting us. Have they ever succeeded, though? That look again, like you're always in control. Always so sure of yourself. Yerrig is changing. Not just changes that you brought about, but also the changes brought about by catastrophe and by progress. Nothing stays the same forever. That's true of your past successes, too. And it's true of the great power's lofty perch. Yerrigander, I hope you know what you're doing. In the distance, the evening prayer bell tolls at the Vine Bead Court, echoing across or amongst the pillars. Serenciades, the Saintess requests your presence at the Hall of Lectures.
The Saintess?
It seems we'll have to continue this conversation another day. Even if we have not reached an accord, do not forget it was the decision of the Vinebead Court to open up Yerrig to foreign dialogues. To cross the line now is to defy the Vinebead Court and the Saintess herself.
Don't try to keep your head down with some tough words. But remember this, my eyes are open, and I won't allow anyone to do anything that will harm this land. There's no length I won't go to protect Yerrig.
Do remember, Serenciades, that your decisions affect more than just your domain and your company. This whole nation will be affected too. I hope Yerrig will not pay the price for your pride. No one can make Yerrig pay, as long as our people remain united. Excuse me. Ow, sorry. Your visitor is here, Saintess. Wait at the door. Do not allow anyone to enter without my permission. Yes, maiden Satan. Yes, Saint. Yep. Yes, Saintess. Write her name at the same time. For what purpose did you summon me, Saintess? Nothing important. I just realized that it has been some time since your presence has last graced the Hall of Lectures. If I'm being charged with impiety, then I have no defense. I will come to hear your lecture next week, once the current crisis has passed. I know you are a busy man, but I have rarely seen you so fatigued. I take it the matters at hand have been troubling. I'm sure you understand that the people have been restless in the aftermath of the catastrophe. There is much to be done. But the Vinebead Court will only grows busier. Take care. Enceades gestures under his eyes with his finger. Enya sees it, but says nothing. The fire burns bright in the fireplace, its warmth reaching the eyebrows and noses of the Silverash siblings, warming their pale and alike complexions. They are not looking at one another, but toward a solemn statue. I saw Arktos today. He looked out of sorts as he greeted me. Even Ratatos did not seem her normal self. It won't be the first time the three of you have fought for a situation like this. I haven't seen it in a long time. What happened?
Temporal matters that you need not worry yourself about.
Then please tell me, what are the temporal matters that trouble Yerrig? Is it the Victorians?
Yes and no. They immediately sent a large relief effort to Yerrig as soon as news about the catastrophe got out. The Colombians also learned about the incident at the observation station and threatened to send troops to protect and evacuate their scientists. They are paying close attention to this catastrophe, each for their own reasons.
So they understand Yerrig better than we think. They know well what this catastrophe means to Yerrig.
The politicians smell chaos and see it as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to extend their influence into Yerrig. We know that Victoria has been doing far more than our borders for a long time. They have simply stopped trying to hide it. I have a good guess as to who is behind Victoria's movements. Her plot is not hard to decipher. It is simply the instincts of a politician. If I was in her shoes, I'd agree it would be... I agree it would be but another chess piece to move.
You know I don't like it when you get like that.
I apologize. I spoke out of turn in this holy place.
Why do you keep putting yourself in the plotter's seat, treating everything around you as chess pieces or bargaining chips? Do you enjoy games like this?
This is our reality, one that florid words cannot conceal. If we want to be strong, independent, even set as equals with the great powers at the same table, then we must play by the same rules.
Is this the most absurd part of it? Yerrig is not the only country that preaches virtue and goodness. Those politicians, too, play the part of leaders and teachers in their own country. They are hypocritical and deceitful, but they teach their people to be honest and sincere. They are avaricious and insatiable, but they teach their people to be gentle and kind. I ask then, Sir Enceades, are the virtues that I preach to the people of Yerrig as saintus and the tenets of the scriptures all lies and nonsense to you?
Inya.
The fire flickers as a charred piece of wood snaps in two. The name, buried for so many years, is once again uttered by a Silverash. Sir Enceades, would you have come to me today if I did not summon you with the authority of the saintus?
Yerrig faces an unprecedented crisis. One wrong step and we may never recover. We need unity more than ever, and the authority of the saintus is crucial at a time like this.
I see you finally recognize the importance of our faith to our people.
I never denied it. Faith in Yerrigander is fundamental to us. We cannot even begin to talk about this land without it.
Yes, more than one person has said as much to me. But when we view faith from the perspective of gain and loss, have we really paused to think if our history, free from the threat of catastrophe, was a mere coincidence?
There is no point in discussing whether it was a miracle or not. What happened, happened. The only thing we can do now is to calm the people.
On this, at least, we have agreement.
It's not an easy thing.
Then I shall begin my pilgrimage as saintus.
What?
I set out early tomorrow morning. The news will be known all across Yerrig by dusk.
Was this the Vinebead Court's decision?
It was my decision.
The pilgrimage takes place in spring or autumn. Has a pilgrimage ever taken place in the middle of winter?
Has a catastrophe ever occurred in Yerrig? We don't have time.
You know how dangerous this is.
Of course I do. But how else do we calm the people's fear of catastrophe? How do we make them believe that Yerrigander will forgive their transgressions? There will be no companion, No temporal possessions, no carriages, no rest. The Saintess shall circle the land of Yerrig on foot, atoning for the sins of all the people, and praying for Yerrigander's forgiveness. It will take 3 months, if all goes well. More than one Saintess has died on the journey. Then why do you, brother? The young woman pauses for a moment, then continues like the snow melting into the river flowing down the peaks of Matterhorn. They are surrounded by warmth, like those winter afternoon naps they took together when they were children. The distant shadows of the past return, trying to find the children who have grown up, find traces of the past on their faces. As Inya of Clan Silverash, I never forgave the choice that you made. As a Saintess of Yereg, however, I am glad that there is still something I can do. I know it is not just the guidance of faith that Yereg needs. Indeed, misunderstandings about faith have hindered us for too long. The changes that you brought about, the factories, the railways, the trade, and the station that watches the sky, are all things that can lead our people out of the prison of the mind. Yereg needs change. You must not stop. What I must do is to convince the people that what is happening is not because they did anything wrong, that there is salvation from their sufferings. There is only one salvation in the minds of the people, and only one capable of carrying the burden. I must fulfill my duty as Yereg Saintess. You summoned me to inform me of your decision. Of course, I'm not asking for your opinion. You cannot stop me, nor do you have any reason to. I leave the matters of the 3 clans back to themselves while I am away from the Vine Bead Court. Please make the necessary preparations to avoid any trouble. And take care of Encia while I'm away. Don't leave her in fear. Encia isn't a child anymore. She won't be so easily frightened. No more concern. I'm more concerned about. It's getting late, Sir Enciades. You should go and make preparations. This is an order to leave. If you've understood it, you should act on it. As you bid. I take my leave. Enciades bows reverently to the priestess and exits, as he has done so many times before. Mally, wait for me! The ball hits the wall of the farmhouse and bounces back to the feet of the boy, who waves at the girl trying to catch up to him. Come on, you're always so slow! He kicks the ball several meters away. The girl grumbles and chases after it. The children are getting some rare free time in this foothill village. With only a couple dozen households, the children, whose parents are too busy to watch, are playing in the center of the village. As you know, the Saintess has begun a pilgrimage for our people. This village is her final stop before she ascends the mountain. Remember what I told you. Change into clean clothes and do not disturb the Saintess when you see her. Am I clear? Will the Saintess really be able to summon Yergander back to us, Father? My wife is working in the city, and I haven't heard from her since the disaster. People in the nearby villages say Sir Enciades has put a blockade around the scene, and no one knows what's happening. Do not worry, Bauer. This is exactly why the Saintess is embarking on her journey. Yergander will not abandon any of her children. But all of us here in the village have already been abandoned, haven't we? None of the young folk have been willing to stay on the farm since Carlin Trades started their business. Let me tell you, if Bauer didn't go lame when he was little... Hey, is this all you have to say when the father and I have been taking care of you since your son left for the city? And I haven't had a peep from him since the disaster. I'll be damned if I got anything else to say. Alright, let's not argue in the Saintess's presence. Bauer, you should go check on old Carl. He said he wanted to catch a glimpse of the Saintess, even if he had to crawl on all fours. Help me talk him out of it. I see the Saintess, Father. She'll be here soon. What? It's much sooner than I expected. Alright, let's go wait by the roadside and Right in your faces. A few dozen villagers line the roadside, turning their faces to the distance from whence the Saintess is approaching. The cleric averts his eyes subconsciously, nervously rubbing his palms with his fingers. He was assigned to this village by the Vinebead court 20 years ago and has never seen the Saintess outside of portraits. The footsteps approach. He focuses his entire attention on his facial muscles, hoping to leave a good impression on the Saintess. Bam. Ow. Molly, you fool, look at what you've done. What the blasted, I forgot about you two. Are you alright, Saintess? Molly, come and apologize to the Saintess. I'm sorry, Saintess. That is a big cloak. It's alright, just a ball. It didn't hurt at all. I still have to continue the ritual. Can you go home? Are your parents here? Saintess. Mom and Dad died a long time ago. My home is the temple. I'll go home then, Father? Go. I'll have you copying scriptures if you cause any more trouble. Ah. I deeply apologize, Saintess. How many children like him are in the village? I've taken in 9. Some are orphans, while others were entrusted to me by their parents who went to the cities to find work. They just abandoned their kids here? That's crazy. But we haven't heard from them since the disaster. Saintess, do you know what's happening with the disaster? When can my wife come back? What did I tell you about her? Has Yeragander really abandoned us? Enough. She would never do that. In these days of hardship, we must remember, believe and trust that she is kind and just. I will do my best so that your prayers and the prayers of all of Yereg will be heard by her once again. Please trust me in Yeragander's name. By Yeragander, she will protect us and protect the Saintess. After a moment of silence, the villagers bow their heads together. Behind the cleric, in a gesture of reverence, they have chosen to believe. The Saintess nods and departs again. The snowy peaks in the distance await.
Don't bother checking the battlefield again.
Snow removal system unlocked.
Myself.
After a short time after deployment, greatly increases the avalanche index of the avalanche area. After deployment of what? The system? Guess we'll find out later. Also, there is this R&D that opened up. Avalanches have severely damaged the train station. Collect resources to complete stages to help rebuild the station. Use repair plans to advance, then collect different resources to complete various tasks and obtain reconstruction points. And enough points to complete the reconstruction. New repair plans are given every round, which are randomly generated. Move clockwise on the map. The number of plan determines how far you go. Once you've advanced, you can collect resources on the same node. Collect the current node resources. Repair plays. Oh, okay. Avalanches have severely devastated the train station. Gather a variety of resources as you roam and within a limited number of rounds to collect points and assist our efforts. This is the first task list with the amount of resources needed. All tasks are simultaneous as you gather resources, and complete tasks will be replaced with new ones. Here's the center of the station map. You can check your position and preview the type of amount of resources available in other nodes. Bottom row here is your action zone. Every round you can use a repair point or repair plan to either advance or collect resources. When collecting, the value of the plan multiplies the base yield. You must first advance before you can proceed to collect. Then collect resources. You can successfully use repair plans with ascending consecutive numbers to start a combo, significantly increasing your gains. Combos will also grant you extra types. You can check how many rounds you have completed here. Different regions have different side effects, which you can check here. I don't need wood. I guess I just need more metal. Oh wait, that was advancing, right? That's fine, I guess. That's a lot of ones. Well, I guess that I don't need actually more points, really. I'm not sure. "11 out of 4, an outstanding outcome. You never disappoint, suffice to say. I'm glad you're a friend of Yerg." Interesting. Not bad. It's an interesting little thing. She's so cool. Did I? Oh, that full screened it for some reason and then closed it. What was over here? Oh, that was that. Fair enough. Certainly better than the last one, which I don't even remember what it was. But I know I wasn't as into it. Or am I thinking? No, I'm thinking of. Am I thinking of that? I don't even remember anymore. I guess. Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the like that mini game that was its own event recently. That was. But anyway, that's all for today. We'll be back with more tomorrow. I'll have the. I can actually farm it tomorrow, actually. To get the E2. Which I swore I had. This keeps happening. I guess I need a triple check, apparently. Double checking's not good enough. But that's all for today. So thank you all for watching, and until we meet again, may the sands of time treat you well.